So you've heard of vintage guitars, vintage amps, probably even vintage pedals, but you never really hear much about vintage strings, and there's probably a good reason behind that, which is that really old strings in general don't sound super good. But I, as a guy who owns a string company and am a huge nerd about all things strings, own a bunch of different sets of vintage strings. I love to take a look at them, see how strings were made, see what they did wrong, what they maybe did right, and kind of compare. But what I don't usually do actually is put them on a guitar, because as soon as I do, I can't really use them anymore. But one particular set of strings I've actually come across a couple different sets of, so I thought, what the heck, I might as well give them a try, see what they sound like, and that's what we're going to do today. These are the Fender Master Sound Pure Nickel Wrap Duratone nylon tape strings. It's a bit of a mouthful. On the back of the package it says, Fender Master Sound Flatwound strings provide the outstanding playing qualities preferred by fine guitarists, which is very 1950s, 1960s marketing wording. Basically, the story of Fender strings is there was a company called VC Squier in Michigan that was making strings before Fender ever did. Fender actually bought that company and moved their string operation out to California, where Fender was. This, if you're keeping score at home, is actually where the Squier name came from. It came from VC Squier strings, and only a couple decades later did they realize, I guess we have this trademark lying around, we may as well use it for something, and they started using that for their more affordable price guitars. But this was the very early era of Fender strings after they brought VC Squier over to California. In this era, flatwound strings were a lot more common. What's unique about these, of course, is that they're pure nickel flats. Typically flats you see are stainless steel. So looking at these, they're pretty fascinating. You've got that kind of surf green, very classic Fender color that they used for the silk. And the silk's all like different lengths on different strings. It's very kind of hit or miss. The wrap is pretty smooth, and then at the end, we actually already had these on a guitar, so we cut it off, but they were silked at the very end. What's really unique about these, though, versus most flatwound strings today, is that they would actually wind this silk that you see on the tail end underneath the flat wire. Which really causes a super deadening sound, as though flatwound strings weren't kind of dead already. They use that alongside that pure nickel flat wrap in order to create, their Master Sound flatwound strings. So they're really fascinating strings. I thought, we should probably put these on a Jazzmaster to get that feel of, what a Jazzmaster probably would sound like with the strings that Fender made at the time and would recommend to, the esteemed jazzers that they were trying to recruit with these guitars. So today we're gonna put them on a Jazzmaster. We're gonna take a look and see what the heck these things sound like and what they play like. So let's get with Andy and check them out. So, without any further ado, let's hear it out a little bit. I'm curious to hear, and I know that we're on a Jazzmaster rather than like a Jaguar, but kind of that Dick Dale thing on the low E. I'm not actually positive if he played flats or if he played rounds. I really don't know.
He just played such a big string, it didn't matter.
It's so percussive. It's so percussive. I mean, you feel the hit of every note, even more than you hear it. It sounds like a bass accompaniment in some ways to that style of surf rock. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope this was enjoyable for everybody. Please like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment and let us know what you thought about these strings. And we'll see if the price of these things shoots up on Reverb after people heard it here. I don't think it will, but I guess you never know. Thanks for watching.